This is a trade someone made in Adopt Me recently. Looking at it, it seems pretty one-sided. That's because this trade was actually someone getting scammed, and this is just one of thousands of cases of players getting hacked or scammed on Roblox. And we're not just talking about a single game. Almost every single game where there are rare items and things that can be traded, there are players getting scammed. For example, I reached out to one of the pet simulator devs and asked them how many scam reports they get in a given day, and they replied, that's a big number. And what's crazy is all of this is preventable. At least that's what I told my daughter when she fell victim to a scam. Yes, she was the one who made this trade. Or did she? You see, if you've been on Roblox for any amount of time, chances are you've fallen victim to a scam at some point. And it keeps happening over and over again because people get scammed in different ways, but it usually always involves someone thinking that they are getting a great deal or some sort of shortcut to make their gaming lives easier. Cheats, hacks, easy ways out have always existed in the gaming space. 30 years ago, you could buy a magazine in stores that told you secrets on how to beat your favorite games. Originally, they were put there by the game devs so that the devs could actually test the later levels of the game without actually having to play through the whole thing. But once it was found profitable, they started putting these things in there to give players a chance to buy a cheat code through a magazine. And as someone who bought these as a kid, I remember that feeling of showing off this cool trick that I found to my friends. It made me feel like some sort of hacker. Then 10 years later, almost 20 years ago, you could buy a full-on module that would allow you to hack any game with unlimited cheats. It was called by many things throughout the world, but one of the more popular ones was called Game Shark, and it was born solely to get ahead of the system. The point is, for as long as gaming has existed, players have looked to cheat the system, and devs, knowing how profitable that could be, started implementing pay-to-win features so that they could cash out on you wanting to circumvent grinding the game. But amidst all this, some have looked to cheat in other ways. From the scamming players to hacking profiles or making fake games completely. It's rampant in the gaming world. And this is where today's sponsor comes into play. Today's video is sponsored by the Clash Royale. And okay, real talk. You know how there's games out there that straight up copied Clash Royale? Like, we've all seen them. The characters are the same, maps are reused, same currency, same overall idea. Bro, they don't even try to hide it. Maybe you've even played one. No judgment, I get it. We all make mistakes. But Clash Royale just did something kinda wild and low-genuinely kinda genius. You see, instead of being mad about the copycats, they said, copycats welcome, and launched an actual program where if you've been grinding on one of those knockoff games, you can go to their microsite, enter your stats, how long you've been playing, your level, and your in-game currency, and they'll convert your progress into real rewards inside Clash Royale. The actual original, the one that started it all. So, if you've been wasting time in a fake, now's literally the best time to switch. Leave the fake games behind and keep the gains. Link is down in the description below where you can go get your rewards. Now, let's talk about these scammers, because honestly, they're a virus. They thrive on deception, they're cunning. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't fool me twice. And scammers know it. Because there is a war going on between players, scammers, and the moment this scam stops working or is patched, they find new inventive ways to scam people out of their hard-earned progress. Let's hyperfixate on Pet Simulator, for example, as it's one of the games that has a rampant amount of scams happening every single day. When Pet Sim 99 first came out, for example, people were dressing up their character to look like a trade booth item selling for one gem, when in reality, it was selling for millions or billions of gems, and they just hid it by standing in front of it. They'd arranged themselves in such a way so you didn't really see what was going on, and if you weren't paying attention, you'd buy the item, and before you realized it wasn't the right price, it was too late. Or someone would dress up as their favorite YouTubers to get signatures on pets, or say that they knew their favorite Roblox YouTuber and could get them to sign it for them and act as a middleman. You trade this person to think that they were going to give your pet to one of those YouTubers to sign and then give back to you, but as soon as the trade went through, they would leave the server and you would never see them or your pet again. Heck, there's There's even been a few partners that have joined partner programs solely to steal pets from their fans. Every day there are new scams and every day there are new victims. Some of these are obvious and some of these are so diabolical, but all of them are preventable. I actually have to hand it to the Adopt Me server because before you can trade anything, you have to go through this trade server safety course where it will actually teach you what is a good trade versus what is a bad trade. Would you like to start the test? You can retake it anytime. Begin the trade license test. All right, let's see what this bad boy is. Oh, here we go. Do you want to trade your unicorn for your my shadow dragon? One trade or two? Two trades. You give me your unicorn and then I will trade you again. Trust me. First off, anybody who says trust me, we don't trust them. And two, if it can definitely be done in one trade, you definitely want to do one trade. Oh man, is this trade safe or a scam? I'm gonna have to say it's a scam. That's correct. I can move on. All right, here we go. The next one is Mice Dream Pet is a shadow dragon. Do you want to trade your frost dragon for my shadow dragon? Sure. Man, I look real excited. All right. And then as you can see, we got two different things. Is it safe? I don't know, man. I don't actually know how much unit is worth, but I know I definitely wanted that one dragon. So I want to say that was a solid trade. Now we got this one. Hey, do you want a giraffe? For free? Yes, I have extra. You can have it. Oh my God. Thank you. Love how my cat's like, bro, I'm bored. Let's go for a ride. Honestly, I'm going to say this one's safe too, because you're not losing anything out of it. The person that actually offered the thing is the one giving up the pet and you didn't give anything in return. That is good. And because I passed the test, I now can step forward and claim my trade license. But Adopt Me actually also take things a step further by this little pop-up screen before you do any trades. And when you do a trade that's a little one-sided, like this one I'm about to do, before you accept anything, you actually again get notified that the trade seems a little unbalanced and to be careful because you could be getting scammed. Any items lost in scams will not be returned. I understand, because who's scamming me other than my own daughter?
No, I'm not.
You're scamming me. All right, here you go, Brioche. Just take it.
And you got scammed first.
Problem is, it's not an end-all be-all solution. The best way not to get scammed is to educate yourself on all the scams out there and trust no one. And that goes for even your friends. Because recently on Twitter, I asked, have you ever been scammed on Roblox, either account hacked or during a trade? Let's talk about it. Dropped what happened to you down below. There were 184 replies just in the short time it's been up. And the amount of people who said their friends scammed them is insane. And it hurts multiple times because now not only have you lost all your items, but now you've lost a friendship and you lost your ability to trust anyone else again, at least for a while. I hatched my first huge in Pet Sim X way back at the 2021 Christmas event. When I told a friend of mine, he asked me if he could index it, so I gave it to him and I never saw him or the huge again. A couple of years ago when I was younger, my account got hacked by one of my old online friends who said there's a new trick to get free items on Roblox, and that involved typing stuff into a browser console. He got all of my cookies and took all of my Robux. One of my really good friends scammed me in Pet Sim 99 and I never returned to the game for a while after that. I lost my trust with him and I wish I could get back my stuff again. I lost all of my Titanics and Huges, all because he wanted to, quote, borrow them. Got scammed by a, quote, friend once in Pet Sim. We were indexing each other Titanics and when he got mine, he just left. We'll actually go through some more of these stories towards the end of the video, but basically, you see so many different people have fallen victim to this. And with new scams popping up daily, it's almost impossible to keep up with, which is why people keep becoming victims to scams. These are just examples of many different scams out there. Nobody wants to be a victim of a scam, and you as a player try to actively do everything you can to prevent it. Somehow or another, it still doesn't seem foolproof. Roblox does have some systems in place to help you from becoming a victim to being hacked with their two-factor authentication and other things, but not everyone has it set up by default, and even then it's not foolproof. Case in point, my daughter. Because if we look at her account, we can actually see her trade history, and the scam trade in question that we actually reported were done at 3:36 in the morning. And I can tell you with 100% certainty, mainly because I was actually downstairs editing at 3:36 in the morning, she was fast asleep in bed. Meaning saying somebody logged onto her account while she was asleep, made the trade to one of their alt accounts, stealing a bunch of crazy pets in exchange for a sandwich, and dipped out never to be seen again. And this was further proven upon going to her settings, and underneath the security tab, scrolling down, you see the devices you're logged into, and one of them just so happened to be in Morocco that was last active at 4:41 in the morning, meaning that this person actually logged into her account and stayed logged in for a couple of hours. We actually had to spend a whole bunch of times looking at a whole bunch of different other games just to make sure that she didn't have other things stolen, but it seems like most of which was done in Adopt Me. And you're probably asking yourself, well, yeah, she probably didn't have two-factor authentication on. She probably ended up giving her account name and password to somebody by mistake. But you would be wrong, because she did actually have a two-factor authentication down. She was just the victim of something called a session hijacking via a cookie theft, where hackers use info stealer malware to steal session cookies from a victim's browser. Because these cookies inform a website that a user is already authenticated, the attacker can bypass it entirely by importing the token into their own browser. And just so that any of the little kids can understand this, I actually had ChatGPT explain this to a 10-year-old, and he basically said, you go to an amusement park and pay for a wristband at the entrance. That wristband proves that you already paid, so for the rest of the day, you just show your wristband and walk onto any ride, and nobody asks you to pay again. Now imagine a sneaky person secretly copies your wristband while you're walking around the park. They can now also walk up to any ride, show the fake wristband, and get on, even though they never paid to begin with. And to the entire park, they all think that it's you. That is what a session hijacking is. And it's usually done by clicking a link that you're not supposed to, which in my daughter's case is exactly what happened. And the crazy thing was, it was semi-innocent enough. You see, my daughter really loves to decorate, and something that she likes to do in Adopt Me is decorate her house. In fact, if you go into her house, it looks pretty impressive for an Adopt Me house, I'm not gonna lie. But for anybody who's played Adopt Me, you know that getting a house like this takes a lot of time, effort, and these days, that is not something my daughter has a lot of. So she was looking for ways to actually make things a little bit easier. And that's when she stumbled across this video right here, an Adopt Me house cloner script, where you can clone your house, save it, and then share that house with all of your friends. Your friends can also do the same, and then you can share each other's house plans, and everybody can just have different types of houses all the time. There's just one problem. This script is a complete scam. This guy right here posted this video 3 months ago. He gave this script here in a paste bin, and all you have to do is you click it, you download it, you run it, and then boom, you supposedly have the script. And when you look at the comments, a lot of people are saying this: love this script, got me a new cute house. Thank you so much for making this script, and free too. It helped me a lot. W script will do a review for sure. On the surface, this looks to be something good, but if you look at all the comments, you start seeing something different. 1 month ago, Madface took all my pets. Don't trust him. All my pets are gone. 2 replies. 1 not in English. Translate to English. The same thing happened to me 8 days ago. Wish I would have seen this before. This dude stole all of my pets from this script. You're weird, bro. 2 months ago. Guys, don't. I lost all of my megas and good pets. The point is, this thing right here, you click on the link, you download the item, and then the item takes your cookie and steals it and sends it back to this guy right here, who will later log into your account and steal all of your pets, probably while you're asleep. And the worst part, because it was a session hijacking, it actually bypasses the two-factor authentication. And in fact, because there was a two-factor authentication, she actually got an email in the middle of the night saying, we would like to verify your identity as the brioche login record has been detected on a new device. And as you can see, the location is not where we are. So then if two-factor authentication is not good, what do we do to protect ourselves? Well, Roblox kind of tells you. You've got just the basic email, which is secure, but can be easily bypassed, where you'll get security codes to a specified email, but a step above that is you could use an authenticator app. And the great thing about authenticator apps is they usually sit on your phone, and as you can see, there's a one-time passcode that updates itself every 30 seconds. That helps cut down on the amount of hacking that can happen, but if you want the absolute best protection, you need to get yourself a hardware security key and authenticator app, where 2 things work as one. Because authenticator apps, they protect the login event. Once you've entered your 6-digit code, then the server issues a session cookie, the authenticator's job is done. The cookie is now the proof of identity, and the authenticator is out of the picture entirely. Passkeys are the exception because the credential is cryptographically bound to your device. You can't just import a passkey to another browser the way you can a cookie. And that is where this thing right here comes in. This is called a Titan key. And you basically consider this as an actual hardware key that you have to plug into your device. And if somebody tries to log in one of your accounts and they don't have this key, they're not going to be able to. It's what I use for every single one of my logins, and they only run about $30 on the Google store. Not gonna lie, dude, $30 is easy money to spend when it comes to online security. But even still, with all of that, session hijacking can still technically bypass the Titan keys, which means the best way to keep yourself safe is to basically just know what to look for. And it all starts with basically just not downloading anything from anyone that you don't know. Don't download cracked software, shady browser extensions, or random tools. Never paste anything from Pastebin or unknown sources into your browser console. That includes any type of shortened URLs or redirection links that are used to hide the type of URL that you're actually clicking on. Bitly's, Pastebins, tiny URLs, short.io, all of these are different type of URLs that are used to hide what is really behind them. And that is exactly the thing that my daughter clicked on. Yeah, I know, she's real dumb for doing something like that, isn't she? Crazy work, Ezio. Despicable.
Super dumb.
Yeah, you tell them. Don't click login links on emails. Always navigate directly to the site yourself, and you can even hover over links before clicking just to verify the real destination. As you can check domains carefully to look for any misspellings. Like with google.com, you can see Google, but there's 2 zeros instead of 2 O's. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you have a 2-factor authentication where you at least have an email showing you when a new device logs onto your account. And should that happen, going to the devices where you're logged in at, you can log out of the session on the unknown location and then look at your account information to make sure nothing else changed, and if it hasn't, change your password. And at the very least, definitely don't trust this guy or pretty much anybody doing any kind of Roblox scripts on the platform. Of course, session cookie hijacking isn't the only one. There are a few others which you can see here. These are less used on the Roblox platform, but another one that really is used on the Roblox platform is the real-time phishing and proxying. That's basically what that means is they create a fake site that looks like a legitimate one that you log into, and the proxy will capture your password and 2-factor authentication code in real time, which then pass it to the real site to complete the login so that they can steal your account. This happens a lot if you join a Discord server and somebody in the Discord server is wanting you to join their quote private VIP server, and when you click on it, you're now all of a sudden forced to log in again, which you already thought you were logged in, so you log in again because you're so focused on trying to get this trade with this VIP server that you don't realize that you just logged in your information into a fake site, which is what happened to Mr. Competitive here. Yep, happened to me on Discord, not Roblox. For someone from the pet sim community DM'd me saying they wanted me to take a shoulder pet for my avatar. One leak was all it took, bypassed the security account measure I had, account gone forever, lost everything. I fell for one of those free pet scams. They sent me a fake Roblox link, which I entered my account details. They logged on and hacked my account, trying to take all of my pets. I was younger and someone said that if I joined their group, they would give me a free huge, but I had to join their group through YouTube. It was a fake Roblox link. I put in my account credentials and they stole everything in Pet Sim. Over and over, we see different people getting scammed in similar situations, but all from different sources. And I'm just gonna slowly scroll through all this so you can see different ones if you want to pause and read them all. But I'm also gonna leave a link down to this exact thread on Twitter so that you can read all of these stories for yourself. Just make sure if you click on it to hover over it to make sure I'm not scamming you. We can use this as practice. Anyway, to everybody who's been scammed, it sucks. I know. All this to say, stay informed, gamers. Trust nobody. Educate yourself, and good luck out there. If you have any scam stories yourself, feel free to drop them down in the comments below so that we can all learn from a mistake that you might have had. Just like my daughter has now learned from this one and has agreed to let me tell you the story so that you can be educated as well. So, W brioche. Anyway, while you're down there, hit that like button, share it with friends. That way they They know how to stay safe. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I promise you I have way more entertaining videos than this popping up on the screen right now, especially that one right there. Don't worry, it's safe to click. Thanks for watching, gamers. I'll see you later.